Hey everyone, it's Bobbie. I have a new project for you. Excuse me, using the Summertime paper collection by Carta. Had to stop and think there a minute. I did receive a lot of companion papers to go with it. However, this yellow and green are from my stash. And I did use some couple of punches and dies from my stash to put this Hello Friend on the front. This is one of the cut-aparts. It says, "Friends are flowers in the garden of life." I just thought it was so appropriate. I did put a white eyelet in the front and then use some ribbon for my ties. I kept the spine really simple with just the yellow and a couple of stickers. And then the back has a little pocket on it where you can add more photos or embellishments or a little message to whoever you might give the project to. So I used two colors of Tammy seam binding, the yellow and green that came with the collection. And when it opens, this is, I don't know whether to call it an album or a folio, because folios have no spine, which this one doesn't, but they don't have chipboard, and this one does, so it's kind of half folio, half album. So on the inside of the front cover, oh, I forgot to make something for this pocket. This is a pocket, and I forgot to make something for it. I think I always forget something. Anyway, it's deep all the way to the bottom. It would be 7.5 inches. So you can get quite a decent size embellishment in there. And this is just two of the 3x4 cut-aparts. And I do have a magnet in here so that when you flip it over, you have a small tuck spot. And I've got one of the little tags that came with the collection and some of her gold seam binding ribbon. Have two photo mats here. And then that's just the flap. And then we have a page here. This is a photo. A little photo frame, and it's open so that you can put your photo behind there. This is one of the cut-aparts, matted on a bright pink. A little journaling spot. And another pocket right here. Goes down in. This one opens to the right. And you have a flap here for a photo mat. Another photo spot on the back. This is a really cute journaling spot that came with the collection. Let me make sure I'm still in frame, I hope. Yep. And then this one opens for 3 more photos. And the colors are so pretty in this. Then on the inside of the front cover, I put 3 pockets, the stack pocket, and I angled my papers so that I just wanted something different. That's the only explanation I can give you. And I used some of the cut-aparts and stickers to create these. And this one has a photo on the back, and this one has plain on the back. And those are the 3x4 cut-aparts. Then in the second pocket, I have another cut-apart with a photo mat on the back, and this one is just on the green. And it's a larger one. This is a 4x6. And then we have a really large one in the back. We have another 4x5, and then we have a 5x7. They go all the way down. I don't want them to drag these down with them. Okay. So it closes up like this, and the magnet will keep that shut. And then when we go to this side, we have another flap. This one has a little pocket at the bottom. Trying to make sure I stay in frame. There. This one has the summer bucket list journaling spot, and they're cute. And then I just made a small one with a green cardstock and a little white photo mat, and I put the little strawberry as a pole. Oh, let me leave them out. This is a little bit of a waterfall. I just put 2 up under there, and I left them all open for photos. And this will hold it closed. like that. Then that opens out. We have 2 photo mats here, and then we have a large pocket, and you can see there's tons of room in here. And I have multiple photo mats in here. I have 4x5, 5x7, and 4x6. A lot of photo space in here. And I just put the word hello on here. And there's another green one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 in this pocket. And still more room to grow. And this little butterfly was a wood embellishment I had in my stash, and I just glued some of the paper to it and cut out the body. Added the chipboard here with 3 of the little flowers and a leaf. And that's it. So easy to do, quick and easy. It's just really pretty paper. This was a collection kit, and that's the ones where you only get 1 sheet of each design. So I was kind of limited what is left, but I think I have enough left that I can do a small project with it. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you soon when I come up with the next project. And I do have her new Mother's Day paper, which I'll be working on next. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Alright guys, this is Bobbie, and I am working with the Summer Collection by Carta, and I am making what is half folio, half album. The reason it's half album is because I am using chipboard in the cover, but it's folio because I'm not putting a spine in it, so it's a little this and a little that. I have put together the cover, and I will put a link in the description box if this is your first time how I wrap my covers. I used the lay flat method that was designed by Tammy Merrill at Country Craft Creations, and this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations. So on my front cover I have double matted, used one of the cards cutouts that came with it, and I just used some dies in my stash to put hello friend, and this says friends are flowers in the garden of life. I think it is so pretty. On the spine I just have a couple of stickers, and on the back I made a little pocket, and I have one of the cut aparts in it so far. The reason I went this far ahead is because I wanted to show you how I'm doing the ribbon this time. I did set an eyelet halfway down in the center, and then about a ½ an inch in from the edge, because I wanted to hide it on the inside. I didn't want to wrap it all the way around. So I ran it through the eyelet and used some score tape to secure it so I won't have a huge lump in there, because the first thing we're going to put on the inside is this flap. And this goes from top to bottom, and of course I cut it too long. So let me cut it off. I first was going to make this a folio with no chipboard. That's why it's cut too long, and I didn't go back and cut it down. So let me make a little mark, and I'll cut this down. I decided I wanted some chipboard because there's going to be enough in this album that because of the weight of it, I felt like I needed the chipboard. So let me cut that off, and I'll have to change the measurement on my cutting guide, because I'm sure I have 9.5 tall, which I do, and it is now going to be probably 8 3/4. Nope, 8 7/8. Yep, 8 7/8. That'll take it to my. Pull that up real quick so I can change it, or I will forget. Change the 9.5. Oh, there it is. Have a minute to find it. Well, 4.5, 8 7/8. I'll fix it in a minute. Let me write it down. Okay, let me pause this just a second. I'll be right back because I want to make sure I fix that right. Okay, let me move this up a little bit more so you guys can, make sure you guys can see. Okay, so we cut this down. I corrected my cut list, and this is going to go right along the edge, not completely to the top and the bottom, but maybe 1/8 of an inch off. But you see why I wanted that on there first? Then it will be buried under here, and we'll have design paper here, so that won't show at all. So we need to add some glue. Actually, let's add our design paper first. And I have to ink this top edge because I had to cut it down. And I'm going to put a magnet on this page, but I can't place it just yet because the flap that comes from this side needs to match. So we'll get to that in a minute, but I laid a magnet out here so I don't forget because I've been known to do that. So let's get some art glitter glue on here. And this is the red and white polka dot paper. Make sure I get it centered here. Yep, that looks pretty good. And here's my little smoother outer tool, whatever you call it. I wouldn't really call it a spatula, but alright. So now this one is scored at 1/2 and 3/4, so that we've got a little bit of a gusset in there. And I'm going to turn it around sideways so I can make sure I get it on here straight. And add some more art glitter glue. I thought I did. I got some on my gusset. So smash it down flat so you can see your edge. Like that. And now I've got glue on my hands. It figures, doesn't it? Just barely inside the edge and above the bottom and a scant below the top. Oops. And we're going to fasten that down. Trying not to get my sticky fingers in there. Okay, now let's open it out and burnish it real good. Oh, poop. Look what I did. I did the wrong edge. Ugh. Almost stuck down my gusset. Told you, I do stupid stuff. I am known for that. I am known for that. It's a good thing I lifted it up when I did, right? Okay, now we can burnish it. And that way my ribbon is hid. And we'll have the same type of setup over here on this end. So there is your little gusset. Now we have a folder that is 7.5 by 4 3/4, and I have put a notch in it. I may have wrote on the back. Your notch with this edge folded out will be at 1 3/4, and then you'll flip it over, open this out 1 3/4 again, and then just take your paper cutter and trim that away. I cut a little piece of yellow that I'm going to put on the inside of it before we get going any farther. And I just want it to be even with the top of the folder. Right up to the edge, but not hanging over. And then we will add the back to it. This one is actually 8 by 5.5. This one is 7.5 by 4.5. And this is not completely straight. Move it up just a hair. Okay. It's a good thing about the art glitter glue. It gives you a few seconds of wiggle room there. This is going to go on this piece. So you want to add your glue to 3 sides. Actually, I'm going to turn it around so my numbers are at the bottom, just in case so they don't show. And we're going to add this to the folder so that we'll have a back. Match up your corners, and you don't want it hanging over. Okay, let's burnish that down. Okay, now this folder is going to attach to the top of the flap. But I have this design paper to go over the top of that. So we can glue that down. And it gets glue all the way around because we're not leaving a tuck spot on this. And I have a little bit of glue seeping out. What's that? I don't know who it is. One of those potential spam calls that you get frequently. It happens almost daily. So this is going to attach here, but before I do, we need to attach a piece to the back because this is going to show. So I cut this blue lemon paper to correspond with this, which is going to be also on the inside. So you want it to be on the left side because when you open this out, see, you'd have the blue exposed, and this green is going to go here, so it'll come all tied together. So this. See my edge there. Kiwi's on a roll. He keeps hearing noises. A while ago, it was my granddaughter's dog. Anytime she goes to work, that dog has a fit for about, probably 15-20 minutes. She doesn't like to be left alone, and she just fusses and fusses. So hopefully she's going to be quiet now. Now this is going to attach here. And make sure if I have anything else. Nope. Okay, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So we're going to attach it here, here, and here. So here, and here, and here. I just want to leave a small tuck space. So that, and I want to make sure that my blue is up under there and that it's straight. that will give us a little small tuck space up under there. Okay, I didn't ink the back side of it. Let me ink the back side of this flap. I'm not going to ink the album cover per se. But I did the pages. Because the design paper was that way and I kind of wanted it to flow. Okay, that's enough. Now let me see if I need any more. I think I'm good there. I just want to see if I need any more glue right here. And right here, I think I put a little dot up there, make sure it's all the way to the edge. And I'll shove it up under there. Okay. Okay, now on the inside of this flap is going to be the green. And I have two little strips of the yellow cut. You open that up, well, it ain't hurting nothing. And I'm going to put those down, and I'll probably have to trim the green since I cut everything else off. But that's okay. So we'll put these two little pieces down. Alright guys, that's enough. I always think they hear something and they gotta raise cane. Right, this one's going to go up here. I just wanted to bring the yellow over to tie it all in. Let's see if that's straight. A bit more that way. Oops. Pushed it too much. Here we go. Okay, now the green. And I do need to cut some off. I figured I would when I do with my pencil. There it is. Right here. We'll trim that off and we'll ink it again. Oh, up here. Okay. Let's hope I didn't take too much off. I didn't. So that'll be fine there. My glue's going oozy again. And we'll come back and embellish this after we get it all put together. And I may want to put some more embellishments on the cover. Let me open this out. And glue everywhere. It's par for the course for me. And then we have two little photo mats that are going to go here. Like that. So I'm just going to put just a small dot of glue on it in case whoever receives this doesn't want them there. Then they can change them to however they like. So there's that. And there's that. There's a little piece that didn't pop out. There we go. Now, what is going to connect is going to be this little piece that I made. It is 6 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I just scored it down the middle, and I put one of the 3x4 cards on each side, and this is going to attach here, and that's where the magnet's going to go. But you see how it's going to have to attach to the next one, and that's why I want to put that piece down next. So I'm going to lay this aside, and once I put this on here, that might pretty well take care of, well, no, we'll still be able to use the pocket a little bit if we want to. Not necessary, but it's there if you need it. Okay, so the next piece will be this large piece. And again, I may have to cut it off. But no, I don't. This one is 6 by 4 1/2. Let me double check it. Oh, there's something else. It is 7 by 8 1/2. Well, it's just a little bit short of the half, more like 7 3/8. Or 8 3/8, I'm sorry. So it is scored at 1/2 and 3/4 as well. And burnish this second score line down. Oh, I just hit that. And we're going to attach that here. Just on the 1/2 inch. I'll have to take a short break here in a minute and turn the air conditioner on. It makes too much noise when I'm recording, but then it gets really hot in here, so I have to stop and turn it on, cool the room down, and then I can come back and do some more. Oh, that's that journaling card from the back. So just kind of ballpark this, put it just inside this score line where you don't overlap it, and just kind of ballpark it from top to bottom. A little bit higher. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. And I got glue on there again. See, I've got it all over my thumb. It's not perfectly straight. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I'm a glue mess today. Okay, now that is going to go there. And see how this will overlap it. So that's why I was waiting on the magnet. Alright, let me take a quick break and turn that air on, and I'll be right back. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to figure out where our papers are going to lay here. Let me get these off, just in case. what I have is this piece to go to the bottom, and this piece for the top. And I want there to be just a tiny space between the two, like that. So my magnet has to be under one or the other. So let's see where this is going to hit. So it needs to be over on this end. And up about, quiet, that keeps hitting it. About in here. So let me put one about on the top of that vehicle. Here. Yeah, okay. So I can figure out where it goes. Right there. Now we can add a little glue to this edge and the bottom. And this edge. Oh, and before I close that up, I want to put a little piece of tape over the magnet, so if I decide I want to put anything in there, it doesn't catch on it. I want a little piece of tape. Okay. Now let's attach this. And I don't want it to be over that. About like so. So I look straight. Let me get my ruler. Where's my ruler? There. It is from edge to edge almost 1.5 inches. And it's not straight. That's 1.25 inches. Yep, that's straight. Okay, now we can seal that down. Oh, crumb. It's going to cover up my little pocket. I want to bring it back a little bit. That's 1.5 inches. That's 1.5 inches. Okay. Here we go. And we want to seal this shut. There it is. Now, magnet. Where's the other half of my magnet? Oh, you know what? I bet I did. No, it's not both pieces. Alright, let me open my new package then. I thought that was both of them attached together. I've got one nice package. see which one I need. Burnish that again. Don't want that one. That one is a plus. I need a negative. Oh, it wants to jump out at me. There we go. Okay. Let me burnish that again real quick. Okay, now you want to make sure that this is standing up. I'm going to take this off. Make sure that it's straight. Comes right to the edge. Boy, that's tight. Okay. That's what we wanted. Now the 1/2" score tape. We'll secure it. Okay, now this one can go down on the top, like that. This backer off. Put a little extra glue on there so it don't grab too quick. Now the yellow one. These papers are really pretty. Well, it's going to go right together, but that's okay with me. Actually, well, I think I need to take a little hair off the bottom of it because it's not leaving any blue edge. Some more glue. Okay, now the game plan for this. So I have 2 flaps that go on the back of this. And I'm going to have a little pocket down here. Just barely any of the yellow showing. And this little pocket is 4 by 5. And I didn't mark the notch, let me tell you. With the flap folded out, the notch is at 1 3/8. Yes, 1 3/8. And it is scored on 3 sides. Make sure you score it so that you don't have any overlap here. Otherwise it leaves you a bulge of where there's extra bulk, and it just doesn't lay as nice. And it's not the end of the world if it does overlap, but it's better if it doesn't. So this, actually we can put our papers on first. I have cut this piece into so that I can have a top and a bottom, and this little pink strip going through the middle. That's my game plan. So let's put those down. Pink. And then this one. And then we can glue that down. And then we have a little tiny photo mat or a journaling spot that'll sit right here. And I just used a die that I had in my stash, but you can use anything that you have. You can just take one of the corner rounders and put an edge on it, or use any die or punch that you might have in your stash. Just use what you've got. Okay, and then up here we're going to have this cut apart from the paper. And then we're going to have a photo frame over here. And I used another one of these dies, and I just cut a solid one. And then on the second solid one, I just cut a 1/2 inch in all the way around. Got a pencil line in there. And I have these little strips, and I hope they're not too wide, I've had them in my stash for a long time. See if they'll work on this. And put it on the back side. There's a piece that didn't pop out right there. There we go. You're right along the edge. Scissors right there. I'll put this little piece along the bottom. And I need one more for the side. Paper clips everywhere. Okay, we'll put one right here. Oops, I want it over the edge. Okay. Now I want to stack it over the other one. I'm going to just take one side off till I get it lined up, because I got a feeling when it sticks, it's going to stick. Alright, turkey. Let me line it up here again. Alright, now at the bottom and the other side. These are a little bit wider than what I should have had. They're not hanging over the edge, but the little teeny dots, I can see the edge of it under there, but, and then I cut a piece of paper just so you can see what it looked like with a photo in it. And that's too wide. Let me cut it down a little bit. See if that's enough. It's still too wide. Goodness. I'm just winging in the dark here. It's going to take a little photo. Okay, just a hair more, and it should fit. There we go. That's what your photo will look like down in it. Isn't that cute? And that's going to sit right here. And that will be about a, I'd lose my head if it wasn't hooked on. About a 2 or a little bit under 2 inches wide and a little over 3 inches tall to fit in that slot. Isn't that cute though? I can trim off a little bit off the top so it doesn't hang out. But that's going to go there. And then I will be back shortly. Alright. Okay. Moving right along. Now we have the 3 3/4 by 6 scored on the long side, 1/2 inch one time. Burnish that, and then we have the 5 1/4 by 4 1/2 on the shorter side, scored at 1/2 inch one time. And we're going to add both of these. I'm going to take my pencil marks off. go. Alright, and they are going to attach to the inside of the flap that is on the right. Let me get this off of here. Okay, so you're going to add some art glitter glue to this. I don't have any papers cut for the back side of this flap yet, so we'll do that a little bit later, and we're going to go just shy of the score line up to the top. And this one is going to go on this side. Down at the bottom and over to the side. Okay, you can put it over top or underneath, whichever one you like. Okay, we're going to backtrack here to the inside section of the album cover. And I have a triple pocket cut for that. And the base piece is 7 3/4 by 3 1/2. Make sure it's going to fit. Yes, it will. Yep, it'll be fine. Okay, so we know mine are these joints here. And we're going to trim this out. Trim off the top just a little bit. And then I have angle cut 2 papers to put on the pocket. I have pink and the stripe, and they're going to go like that with just a little gap in between. Okay, let me burnish these edges. I haven't done that. I just folded them lightly so that I could go ahead and paint them, but I hadn't burnished them yet. I do need that to have a good edge. So we can glue these down. I just wanted to do something different to the pocket. I get tired of the same old all the time. And I just decided this would be a change. Let me see, my spacing is good. This can go over just a little bit more. And then this one. Down with a little gap in between. Thought that was kind of pretty. Something different. And that will be the first pocket. And on the second one, We have blue in the stripe, and it will go here. So let me get my pencil off again. Uh-oh. Is that blue a little deep? Yeah, I got a little too much blue, I think. Let's see. Let me trim this off. Pencil. Alright, I'm missing a pencil. Oh crud, what'd I do with it? Did you guys take my pencil? I didn't find it. I don't have a pencil. Ah. It was hiding from me. Okay, so we want this here. And always trim from your straight edge. Right here's the mark. Okay. Let me trim that off. And I'm going to take just a little bit off the height of it. Just hair off the depth of it. Okay, let's see what we got now. Still a little bit off of it. What a bummer. Guess my mark wasn't too reliable. Goodness gracious. Still just a hair. Keep going, I won't have any left. Better to take small increments at a time though. Yeah, that's better. Once you take it off, you sure can't put it back on, can you? Okay, I got a pencil mark there. Put a little bit more ink on here. Okay. Now I alternated the stripe and the solids. So this time the stripe's going to go on the left. And the solid on the right. And these solids are the companion papers that came with from Tammy. Excuse me. There's that one. Got one more to go. And pencil again. What I did to cut these, I put the yellow and the stripe together, stacked them up, and I made a mark over 2 inches here, and then 2 inches from this side, and I cut them from mark to mark so that they'd be exactly the same. And I know this yellow is deeper than the yellow goes on the right. And the stripe goes over here. And that's fine. I need to erase this though. Okay. So, take glue off of me. It doesn't matter how much excess you got at the bottom, because it's going to be tucked inside anyway. And the yellow. Oops. Trim a little bit of this yellow off. It doesn't need to be there. Okay. Let's burnish this. Now you can see that mine's not a perfect match at the bottom. It's because I got this crooked. Got this going at an angle, but this is going to be tucked up underneath. See where I made a 1/2 inch mark on either side? That's where it's going to tuck up under the previous one. So you want to make just a little angle. And I'm going to do the same at the top. That's the very first one, and it's already ready. And I got to angle these. Okay, so now we can put these down. Our first one is going to go where it at least covers this seam. Just a little bit to the right. There we go. I'm going to want to burnish this down real good. In case I got any glue coming out. Alright, now I'm going to leave that backer on because this is going to tuck inside. Well, it should. I don't think it is, though. I wanted it to. It's going to have to be trimmed a little bit more. Let's see if I can take enough off to make it go down inside a little bit better. to the angle. I'm going to go to the angle. And I snip just barely into the paper so that it would tuck underneath. There we go. That'll work. Let me see how this one's going to be. Oops. That's the wrong edge. Crudely do. I have to turn it around. I didn't want it like that. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Just saw a spider. See if I can get this yellow off of here without tearing it up. It doesn't work with the glue remover, you know, the undo. It doesn't work with that. See if I can get it off and replace it. It's coming off pretty good. That was my mess up. Thank goodness I didn't put a boot of glue on it. I won't be reusing this piece of yellow though. I've crimped it up too much with my fingernails tugging on it. Oops, I got it. If I can't make it work, then let me see if I've got enough yellow to replace it. I may not have. Oh, I've got another piece. And the yellow goes on the left. Yeah, I think I can fix it. I just need to trim it off. That right there. I'm gonna fix it, guys. Trim the end off. Oh. Place, and then we'll be good to go. Okie dokie. Think I got her. ink it. Perfect. I left a little fragment of yellow on there, but I knew if I pulled on it I'd take too much of the cardstock off. And I don't think it's going to hurt a thing. Okay, now I'm going to trim this. Oh, I don't have it. Yeah. Take a little bit more trim off. Just that corner, just that very corner of the blue so that it'll tuck underneath. Just a little bit. Yep, that'll work. Okay, I'm going to attach these three down and I'll be right back. I've got to turn the air back on. That's the reason for this. Okay guys, I'm not exactly sure where I stopped the video last time. I may have missed recording part of it. So I just wanted to double back here and make sure that I've showed you all of this. This was the inside of the front panel. And this flap on the right hand side that had the 1/4 inch gusset. I know I showed you this part. And we were adding these flaps, I believe, and all I did was add some photo mats and scraps of paper to them. Make sure you can see it all. That's all I did, and I think I missed recording that part. So that's all so far. Now we're ready to move to the right side. And I've cut a piece of the green polka dot to put in the spine. It's just the height that I want, plus it's 2 inches. And then on the right hand side we have another flap like this side, this polka dot flap. So I wanted to carry the polka dot across to make it pretty uniform, and I have inked it with a vintage photo. And I am going to attach that to this flap. Come on, glue, work with me here. Now I will be backtracking and making photo mats, and I won't be filming that part because it's kind of redundant, but I will try my best to have the measurements of the photo mats that I make at the bottom of your cut list in case you want to make them just like mine. But you don't have to. You can make them however you like. So we're going to put that down on there. And then I had shown you this cut apart that had some green edging around it, and I actually had it in the pocket on the back. And I decided to cut it down. I can put something else in that pocket later, but I want to put it on the front of this flap, which is going to go up here at the top. So let's put that on there. I originally was going to make a large waterfall here, but I just felt like it was too much bulk. And honestly, every album does not have to have a waterfall. It really doesn't. But at least that's my way of thinking. But, you know, if you want one, that's fine. But I decided to do different. Let me see. Let me tuck this under so I can see where my edges are. Yeah, that's not straight. Get with it, Bobbie. There we go. Now I already had my waterfall pieces cut out, so I am going to tuck 2 of them behind this. And what I'm going to do is add this one to the very top. And I'm just going to center it as best I can on the red and take it right up to the top. Oops, not over the top, Bobbie. Just to the top. And make sure it's straight because the waterfall will base below it, and if the top is crooked, then your waterfall will be crooked. So I'm going to add just 2 below here so that they don't hang out. And then we'll have room for photo mats or whatever you might want to put under here. So this one will go right below it. And it's just a tad narrower, and I did that on purpose to keep it from overhanging. Because this first one's kind of an odd shape. It's so long, you know, I didn't want it to. So there's that one. And once we put the strips up here at the top, this little extra doesn't matter at all. Oops. And then we got a second one. And it will stack right below this one. I'm sure it's matching. And it's all nice and covered. So that will go there, and then I have a little bitty pocket down here for the bottom. And there's the cutest little inserts with this one. This one is, I actually changed it to 4 1/4 by 2 1/2, and it is changed on your cut list. And you'll score it at a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Let me put my yellow on it first. And then I used the, I had the 6 by 6 paper pad as well as the 12 by 12 collection. So I cut the yellow out of the 6 by 6. So you can tell it's a smaller print, but I love this yellow. And I'm not a big yellow or a green person, but the colors in these collections have been so pretty lately that I've really used a lot of green and yellow. So there's that. And this little pocket is going to go down at the bottom. I'm going to put it about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom and center it side to side. There's the cutest little cut-aparts with this collection that I thought would be adorable in a little pocket like this. So, make sure that little pocket's straight. That is not quite a 1/2 inch up. It's actually a little more than 1/4. I'll move it up just a hair. There. I didn't feel like it was quite straight. That's better. And then I can put inserts in here to, this one's too big, it doesn't work. It's not cut for that, but that'll hold the waterfall down so you won't need magnets or anything. So that takes care of the front of that. Now on the back side, I didn't cut any paper for it yet, but we can go ahead and put this, oops, I actually was going to glue that down, and then I realized, oh God, I haven't put on my flap yet. I do things like that. I get ahead of myself. So, but I caught it quick enough, so no biggie. So there's some glue on there, and we're just going to put our 1/2 inch down and kind of eyeball it from top to bottom. It'll be just a little bit shorter than the height of this. Make sure I'm not overhanging here. Okay, now we can burnish it down. And this will hide our ribbon thingy-bob. Now, this one can go down. Right here. Isn't that pretty paper? Beautiful. I'd already glued it like I said, and had just put it down. Thought, oh my God, I didn't do my flap. So I jerked it back up off of there. I do things like that. Hopefully I'm not the only one that does. Okay, here's this. You want it not to overlap any of your score lines. Bring it down where it covers that seam. This page, this side does not have as many pieces to it as the front cover. So the next thing we have is this pocket. Close this up for now. Get it out of the way. Okay, this pocket measures, I think, 8.5 by 5. Yes, 8.5 by 5, and I have scored a 1/2 inch in it. And I scored 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, I guess I didn't. Nonetheless, I'll tell you. Half. We've only got one score line. It doesn't need to be that huge anyway. So we've got our 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch on each side. Let's go with that. So you'll have 2 folds over here. So it gives you a 1/4 inch gusset. Kind of makes a little box so that you can get more in it. And the same at the bottom. Add a 1/2 and 3/4. Oh, I let this lay out overnight and I had the air conditioner blowing. Okay. And there's that one. Okay. So we want, let me recut this side. And then I'll explain to you what I did. This doesn't need to be there. I don't need all that extra. Okay. So you're going to score at a 1/2 and 1/4, 3 times around, 1/2 and 3/4, sorry, 3 times around. And then I notched the top at 3/4 of an inch with this folded under. So it's actually going to be 1.5 inches if you lay it out flat, which you'll want to do because it punches more accurately that way. So we're going to score all of these and fold them to the inside. I like to leave this little nub in there so my pocket is completely closed, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I just don't like to cut it off. So we're going to add a little bit of glue to that tab. And we're going to close up our little box. And put a little on this side piece. And make your box close up. I need a, I think my paper clips are too thick for this. I don't know if that's going to hold. And push this one in. Little dot of glue right there. It's more than a little dot. Here's my maybe wipe here. Okay. And then you can see that I mitered the top edge. This one I need to miter again. And that will sit. I probably should have put these on before. And I'm going to double mat this just because this, I wanted to use this blue floral. I hadn't used it at all so far. It's so pretty, such a delicate little print, but it didn't show up too well on the blue background, so I cut a piece of green to go underneath it, so it kind of makes it stand out. So I'm going to put that on the green. Probably should have put this on the box before I did the edges, but oh well. Like I said, I get in a hurry and get ahead of myself sometimes. Okay, and this is going to go on the top of the box. And once we get it in position, then you can turn it over and burnish it from the inside to make sure it's fastened down good. Okay. You can inside your edges here all the way to the corners. Okay, now back to the album. Open this flap. This is going to sit down at the bottom. And that's why you need that 1/4 inch. Okay, so we're going to put glue on all 3 sides. And you'll be able to get a lot of photo mats and inserts into this little thing. A 1/4 inch gives you quite a bit. Okay, now pinch your sides in a little bit and make sure they sit up straight. You know I'm going cattywampus. And I'm going to put this down at, I don't want it to hang below the, it's just barely inside. I might turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to need this bone folder to get in here and burnish that down. Make sure my sides are sitting up straight. There. It's curling a little bit on me. Got it straight now. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and glue this green down so it'll quit flopping around. Now I wanted to put a photo mat up here, but you know, I don't think I'm going to because it's going to cover up too much of the pretty paper, so I can just put it in here. So I'll save that for later. And that is a 4x5, and I just left 1/8 of an inch around it with the green. So now I need to cut something for this. Let me take a quick pause. I'll figure out what I want back there and I'll be right back. Okay, no surprise, I decided on the yellow. I guess it's a daisy print, I don't know. But it just kind of brought everything together. So, and then I have two 3x3 photo mats that I backed on the green that came with the paper collection, and I'm just going to put them on here like this. I want there to be room for embellishments and what have you, so I was going to use 3 originally, but it just made it really tight. And the only way I could do 3 was make smaller photo mats, which you can do. No problem. I got glue everywhere again. And we're going to leave a space like that. I just wanted to leave more room for embellishments, so that is that. So that closes up like this. I put a clothespin on there because that wasn't shut tight. And then this closes up like this. And you can see it's still got tons of room for photos and embellishments and what have you. So we're on a roll, guys, just about to get done. I'm going to make my photo mats and add some embellishments, and you will see all of that when you see the final walkthrough, which will actually come up before the tutorial. So I will try my best to get all those measurements in there for you. If I do happen to miss anything, which I'm human, I can, so if I do, just send me a message and let me know what your concern is, and we'll fix whatever it might be. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you back with the walkthrough.